So, looking at your exercise you just finished, the last two questions looks at small businesses. We pass businesses every day on the street. We click on them, they are apps on our phone, and it's easy to think of a few. But what we're going to figure out is what constitutes a business as a small business. What is the definition of a small business? Business size can be assessed in a number of ways, including the number of employees and revenues. The Small Business Administration is a federally funded government agency providing loans and assistance to small businesses. The Small Business Association, or SBA, adheres to the Small Businesses Act, which states that a small business concern is one that is independently owned and operated and which cannot dominate in its field of operation. The law also states that in determining what constitutes a small business, the definition will vary from industry to industry to reflect industry differences accurately. The SBA produces a table of size standards matched to the North American Industry Classification System to guide the definition of small businesses. So what does that mean exactly? Independently owned and operated. For example, the company could not be part of Coca-Cola. It must be independent. It's not dominant in its field of operation. Google, for instance, is dominant in its field of operation. So Google is not a small business. The definition will vary from industry to industry, and the SBA defines this. So, as a rule of thumb, a few years ago, the SBA defined most small businesses as having 500 or fewer employees and revenues not exceeding $6 to $8 million. Today, it's less than 1,500 employees and less than $21 million in revenue. So don't get too comfortable. Size definitions vary widely depending on the industry and are always changing. Small business owners have to track this if they want to work with the federal government. So we are going to look at a scenario, and we're going to make a decision: does this business constitute as a small business? So in your packet, you're going to pull out exercise 1-2A, and we're going to go through it. So I'm going to read the scenario, and then you're going to make the determination: is this a small business? Does the size of a small business matter? Millennial Staffing is very excited about an opportunity it has to bid on a big government contract. For months, the company has been sending its salespeople to local government networking events to form relationships and to find out about something just like this. Here it is. A government agency is putting out an RFP, that is, request for proposal, for small businesses to bid on services. The two requirements that make Millennial Staffing CEO feel they are a perfect fit are as follows. 1. It must be an employment/placement company. The federal agency needs assistance with finding specific types of workers to help with social media and outreach campaigns, and needs help at universities across the nation. 2. The company providing these services must be a small business. However, Millennial Staffing COO has just brought her some bad news. The company has grown so much that it may not fit the Small Business Administration's regulation on small business size anymore. Millennial Staffing currently has $17 million in revenues. So we're going to look at the SBA regulations below. This is our supporting data that we have to go by. What is SBA's definition of a small business concern? SBA defines a small business concern as one that is independently owned and operated, is organized for profit, and is not dominant in its field. But depending on the industry, size standards eligibility is based on the average number of employees for the preceding 12 months or on sales value averaged over a 3-year period. Examples of SBA general size standards include the following. Manufacturing. Maximum number of employees may range from 500 to 1,500 depending on the type of product manufactured. Wholesaling. The maximum number of employees may range from 100 to 500 depending on the particular product being provided. Services. Annual receipts may not exceed $2.5 to $21.5 million depending on the particular service being provided. Retailing. Annual receipts may not exceed $5 to $21 million depending on the particular product being provided. General and heavy construction. General construction annual receipts may not exceed $13.5 to $17 million depending on the type of construction. Special trade construction. Annual receipts may not exceed $7 million. And lastly, agricultural. Annual receipts may not exceed half to $9 million depending on the agricultural product. So, after going through this case scenario, here's a question. Can Millennial Staffing bid on the RFP? Why or why not? What industry category does it fit into? On the back of this paper, you are going to answer those 3 questions. Now, you are going to answer those 3 questions using complete sentences, and you are also going to answer these questions in essay form. So, I want you to kind of piece together your response. If you need to figure out what type of industry this category, this business fits into, there is enough information on here for you to figure it out by using the internet. As an entrepreneur, to be successful, you have to find things out on your own. So I'm not going to help you on that, but if you use some keywords, you can search it and figure out what category it will fit into. After you are finished with this assignment, you are going to click and open up Module 1, Video 3.